Your hands. Come on, everybody. Clap your hands. Come on. Come on. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on.
Let's go crazy!
Dumb legs.
Run with me, Sin. Let us run towards our destiny. Ah! Hurrah! 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 Here we go.
All right.
Take it away, Mr. Fanta.
What up? Is your boy Sinfanta and
Nolimov, the brave wolf, the boss of the brave hearts. Talk to us nice.
yo, what's up? How's everybody doing? Hope you're having a sinful evening, a sinful night, morning, wherever you're listening to us on YouTube, on Twitch,
Everywhere.
on Apple, on Spotify. Make
Listen,
sure you hit
Linda.
like and subscribe.
Do
Oh.
it.
Oh, and most important, please leave a review on Apple.
Give us a review, man. We want to eat food tomorrow.
Yeah.
How you feeling, Sin? Fantastic. Look at the guns out. Look at the guns on this guy.
That's right.
For you guys listening on Apple right now, Sin just got naked on stream.
Yeah.
Go to the YouTube if you want to see him naked.
All right, but before we continue, let me cut it off right here. Guys, we have a brand new grand reopening of the Bravery Studios. Let them know, Marv, what this is about.
Yeah, man, the grand reopening, man.
Bravery,
We moved studios not too long ago. The new studio is finally in a position where I'm ready to show it to the world. And I humbly invite everyone in the New York, New Jersey area, everybody in America, everybody in the whole world who wants to come partake in the celebration of Bravery.
Bravery up.
Come to Bravery Studios September 18th from 3 to 9. We're going to be celebrating. We're going to have vendors. We're going to sell stuff. We're going to eat stuff. We're going to drink stuff. We're going to talk about podcasts. Sin's going to be there. He's going to be masked up.
That's right.
So get
That's
ready,
right.
because this ain't funny. My name is Nolan Marvin. I'm about my money.
Now, for those of you that don't know, Mr. Marv here, you can check him out on twitch.tv/Bravery Arcade, and I myself and Sinfanta. I want to let you guys know that it ain't all, just ease and lay back and no grind. This man has been on the grind for a long time, putting in that work. So
Grinding.
please, if you need some quality content done for your podcasting experience or otherwise, go to Bravery Studios for some good
Yeah,
content.
if you're tired of the producer dancing all up in the videos, trying to be all up in the videos, come to Bravery Studios. Yeah. Yeah, boy, baby.
Baby.
You already know, man. You already know.
Yeah, so what you been playing, Marv? What you been up to?
I'm still on this mission to get every shrine in Breath of the Wild. I'm at a crossroads because going forward, if I want to get the last 4 shrines, I'm going to have to defeat the Divine Beast. And I didn't want to defeat the Divine Beast because they kind of make the game a little too easy for me after that point if I beat that. So I don't know if I'm just going to stop playing the game completely and just go fight Ganon maybe. But I really want those last 4 shrines. So I don't know, man.
No, you don't need them. You don't need to use their powers. The
They should have
The one
laser.
that-
They should have laser at Ganon. They take half his life away.
but takes. Oh, you talk about Ganon.
Yeah, Ganondorf. So I don't want to
Well, you
fight
can't-
Ganon with the Divine Beast because they make it too easy.
Well, what you can do is go fight Ganon without the Divine Beasts, and then once you're done with that, if you do beat him or don't beat him, whatever you decide, you can still get the Divine Beast to get the rest of the shrines, and then only 2 of the powers activate automatically, which is the
Shield,
The-
thunder, I think.
shield and the dead. No, the thunder
Oh,
it
the
only
dead,
activates
yeah,
if
the
you
dead.
hold it.
That's right. All right, maybe I'll do that. I'll go beat Ganon first and then get him. But yeah, that's the crossroads I'm at, and Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Maybe I'll take Sin's advice and just go fight Ganon now. It's time for the mask and pat sauce. Yeah. Coming soon to a
Yeah.
bodega near you. Coming
Yeah.
very
For those
soon.
that are not aware, you can check us live first on twitch.tv, Bravery Arcade. So if you can't wait for the podcast to drop on your Spotify app, or you could come,
Come to the dark
right
side.
here
Come to the brave.
and
Come to the
ask us
simple.
questions live. So what games have I been playing? I've been playing Pokemon Unite.
Yeah.
I got my main account on Masters, and I'm gonna get a second account on Masters as well. And just Smash Bros. We actually back to Smash Bros.
Interesting. So let me ask you, what's the point of having two accounts on Unite?
Okay, so real quick before we get into the show, Unite has an issue. Once you make it to Masters, which is the highest rank, it is next to impossible to rank up into the top 100 without being in a squad because you lose.
Oh.
Yeah, yeah,
Oh.
yeah.
And you want to get in a squad? You don't want to get in a squad.
No, you do want to get in a squad because if you're solo, the chances of you winning it's about 60 to 50%, and every time you lose 25 points. But if you win, you get 5 to 9 points, which is barbaric.
Copy. That's barbaric.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
but
Very,
yeah.
very
Other than
barbaric.
that, oh, we must excuse ourselves. We were not here last week.
That's
My.
right. That's right. And we weren't here yesterday either, which is we're very off schedule this week and last week. Other than the video games I've been playing, I had to drive a friend to the hospital because he ate some devil lasagna that his stomach wasn't ready for. Shout out to my brother out there, but yeah, man. So, guys, take care of your health, man. We had a health scare yesterday, and it was like, damn. Imagine the way you go is through lasagna. Imagine. I would have been making.
That's good.
I would have been making fun of him in his funeral. Like, I love my brother, but I would have been making fun of him. So thank God that didn't happen. And yeah, man, this is not a PSA or nothing, but guys, it's time to take care of your health. Especially you guys over 30 that are watching this. Yeah, take care of your health, man. Like,
that's right.
Don't go ham every day. Like, yo, death by lasagna. Shout out to Kraken. Thank you for the host, brother. But yeah, bro. Like, guys, let's take care of our health. Everybody, all my viewers over 30. Not even gonna say that. If you're an adult, male or female, it's time to start taking care of your health. Once you become an adult, just be smart with what you eat, what you consume. Moderate everything. Don't go ham every day.
That's right. That's right.
I gotta listen to that the most. I was eating pizza like every day, like last year.
Steve Franchise says, "Damn, I hope he's okay."
Oh yeah, he's good. He's good. Yeah, guys, don't get it twisted. We went to the hospital. He's totally cool now. Nothing wrong with him. Nothing that's permanent. So, but still, you take care of your health, guys. Above everything.
That's right.
Like I'm starting to cook my own food now because I'm tired of eating out 3 times a day. So even before this stream, I was meal prepping for the whole week.
I don't get tired of eating out. Oh, food. Okay, food. So food, right?
It's not about getting tired of eating out. It's about the things from eating out is not as healthy as cooking at home. So just take care of yourself. That's all. You want to make it to Valhalla? Yo, shout out to Steve Franchise. He says just went grocery shopping today. Today was a good day to go, especially if you're not on the East Coast. Because if you're on the East Coast, then you weren't going nowhere today. We had a hurricane over here today, so
just constant flash flood announcement.
Yeah, I think my phone was more annoying than the rain, bro. I swear to God. I think my phone is the only thing that bothers me during a hurricane because it's like going off every half an hour. Like, yo, I got it the first 15 times. Whoever sends these messages. I got it the first 15 times.
Pouring ASMR? Ooh.
Ooh.
Pouring ASMR. I heard that.
But let's get to the news, man. All
right, number 1. Tell me some news.
So, interestingly, it's been rumored that Grand Theft Auto 3, Vice City, and San Andreas are getting remastered. Not only are they getting remastered, but they're getting remastered and ported to every console, including the Nintendo Switch. So for the first time in the history of the I want to say console-based Grand Theft Auto games because we did get a few for Game Boy Advance and DS. And the first time in the history of the Grand Theft Auto series, the mainline Grand Theft Auto games will appear on the Nintendo console. Which let me read you guys the article. This comes to us from Kotaku. After months of rumors and speculation, Kotaku has learned from sources. So this is still rumor. Take this with a grain of salt, guys. It's from sources. It's not from a person. That Rockstar may be remastering 3 Grand Theft Auto classic games. Currently, it appears these games will be released later this fall for multiple platforms, including the portable Nintendo Switch. San Andreas portable, not on the cell phone because the cell phone version is kind of baby food, but here we go. For the past year, rumors have swirled on Twitter, Reddit, and various message boards that Rockstar is working on remastering the remakes of Grand Theft Auto Classic PS2 era titles. These rumors only grew in popularity as Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, recently used DMCA takedowns to remove classic mods from the internet while announcing that the publisher had 3 remasters in development. So you heard what the jerk move they just did? For everybody that was making graphic updates, graphic mods for the old Grand Theft Auto games for them to look better, they made them disappear. That way their remakes could look better and not be compared to the mods, which is kind of crappy. While can't confirm what all of those remastered titles specifically are, we can confirm via collaborating details of 3 sources that Grand Theft Auto remasters are currently in the final stages of development. Kotaku has reached out to Rockstar about these remasters and future GTA titles, but our sources have so far had reliable track records that have alerted us to updates in Grand Theft Auto Online and Red Dead Online weeks, if not months in advance. So that's about the bulk of it. There's more here, but I think that pretty much sums it up. How do you have any history with the Grand Theft Auto games at all?
Yes, when I played when I was younger. I remember that my mother was not happy that I would play those games in particular, obviously,
I bet, I
because
bet, I bet, I bet.
oh shit, here we go again.
Word, word, word. So I have a lot of issue with the Grand Theft Auto series. I bought I've had all 3 of them. They were some of the first reasons why I felt like I had disappointed myself by buying a GameCube instead of a PS2. Because not for nothing, when those games came out, everybody wanted them, and those are like they were humongous. The Grand Theft Auto series for the PS2 era, if you guys were not alive back then, they were humongous, humongous. Listen, and yeah, I was envious that they didn't weren't on the Cube, or they came to Xbox a little later. But what I really hope that these remasters do is more than just the graphics, because like they said even in the article, there's graphic mods on PC. Like you could have been making these games better, whenever, all the time. I hope that they actually fix some of the crazy gameplay and controls of these games, because these games, despite being some of the most, I want to say, first games that kind of popularized the sandbox style of games, like open world games, these games play and feel like garbage. All 3 of them, they all feel horrible to play today. Even back then, I remember saying like these games feel horrible to play. Even the driving, shooting, walking around, they're rough. I hope they do something about the gameplay. I hope there's some mechanical upgrades. I hope the Grand Theft Auto 3 has over-the-shoulder shooting. That in Vice City. Vice City and Grand Theft Auto 3 don't have third-person shooting, so let's see. Cloud Peter says, I love them, still do, but I hate the lag issues and the scaling of the game for the money. That's another issue, too, with these games. How much are these going to cost? Are they going to come in a package? Are we going to pay $30 each for all these games, or is there a bundle? I would like to pay $30 in total for all 3 of them, but let's see.
Are they gonna pull Nintendo, where they're just gonna charge $60?
I wouldn't be surprised if they're going to pull Nintendo. If there's one company that reminds me a lot of Nintendo, it's Rockstar. Definitely Rockstar.
Also, speaking of which, real randomly, but the newest Grand Theft Auto is essentially used as a role-playing game. So I find that interesting, the whole bit. I'm not into it, but I do find interesting that people go into those games just to roleplay.
Yeah, I remember role-playing servers back in San Andreas, back in the PS2 days. They were very popular. But the new game, you can play it any way you want. You can make it a role-playing game, you can make it a racing game. They have jetpacks now. You can make it everything, whatever you want. But would you give Grand Theft Auto a chance now that it's coming to the Switch? Would you get
It
into it?
depends if they do, if they have a good track record like Bethesda has done, and they give it to a third party company and it adapts it to the Switch properly. Yes, absolutely. But the issue is that most companies go the cheaper route, which is unlike what Bethesda did, and they'll just do it themselves, and they'll cheapen out, they'll underscale, they'll just cut back and sell it as is for Switch players, and Switch players always get the backhand slap because it's an underpowered console. And I get it. Again, this is the discussion we've had where we feel like Nintendo should have upgraded. They had the chance, they didn't do it, they still haven't done it, and that's the price we pay. But if it is handled that way, sure. If it isn't $60, sure. If it's $60, you can kiss my behind goodbye as a customer.
If it's $60 each, because remember this is 3 games. If all 3 of them are $60, that'll be a nightmare. I can't imagine them selling them a piece for more than $30. And if it's a package deal, all 3 of them together, it should be $40. These are 20-year-old games. They're 20 years old, and they should run perfectly on the Switch. These are 20-year-old games. If
True.
if they run horrible on the Switch, then that's because they just didn't care. They just didn't care when they made the Switch port.
They just threw the same original coding in there saying,
Yeah, that would be horrible if they do that. But I've always dreamed of what these games would look like with modern technology, like with better graphics, because these games look rough. Like if what you're thinking about in your head looks good to you, it's probably because you're thinking of mods. Because people have been modding these games since forever. But I have high hopes for these remakes. I'd get all 3 of them. If they add some
but
kind of online and if they fix the graphics and controls, I'll get all 3 of them in a heartbeat.
true.
In
True.
a heartbeat.
For those that have any comments on this topic or any topic that we're going to bring up, make sure you let us know on the YouTube comments or here on the stream, and we'll bring it up, and your name will be in the podcast. So, yeah, I feel like in conclusion, for me, I will give it a chance if the price isn't exactly that. Like that'll be just too much. No, it's not worth it.
I dig it. I dig it. I dig it. Here we go. So moving forward, we have what do we got here? Wait, Xbox Game Pass finally confirmed to not be coming to the Switch. Now we've been talking about this a little bit here and there. Whenever we hear rumors about Xbox and Nintendo being cozy with each other, everyone's first thoughts are that the Game Pass is probably coming to Switch. Game Pass, if you guys don't know, is Xbox's form of like Netflix type service where you can play any game for a monthly subscription. So the common consensus for most people is that they're going to put this on everything possible because they only care about the subscription. They're not holding on to branding as tightly as like what Sony's doing. You'll never see too much Sony stuff on other consoles, and even less Nintendo stuff. You'll never see it anywhere besides mobile now. But it has just been 100% confirmed that there is no Xbox Game Pass coming to the Switch or PS5 because Sony and Nintendo don't want it. they don't want it.
What?
Yeah. All right. So I'm reading from Tech Radar. This isn't even a gaming website. This is more like a tech website. But let me read you guys what they got here. Xbox Game Pass, Microsoft's popular monthly subscription service that lets you download and play hundreds of games, won't be coming to PS5 or Nintendo Switch anytime soon, according to Xbox head Phil Spencer. In an interview with Games Radar, Spencer explained why we won't see Xbox Game Pass on Sony and Nintendo platforms in the near future, which may be disappointing for some. Here's the quotes from Phil Spencer. We have no plans to bring Xbox Game Pass to any other closed platforms right now, mainly because those closed platforms don't want something like Game Pass, Spencer said. There are tons of platforms out there for us to go on, the web, PC, mobile. So all of our focus, frankly, is on those platforms. I'm going to leave it there as far as the article goes, but I can see why Nintendo and Sony don't want an Xbox game service on their console. Even with Nintendo's pretty friendly with Microsoft. We have Minecraft and we have Banjo-Kazooie. And we have, I think, a couple other games from Microsoft on the Switch. But the game service might not... That's something they're not going to want. And I know exactly
Just
why.
rename it. The Nintybox pack.
I don't think it's branding. I don't think it's about the branding. I don't even think that. I think if a service that's like Netflix comes to the Switch, where you can pay $10 a month and play any game you want, is going to be competition to what is already on the console being sold. You get what I'm saying? So like, if a new Kirby game comes out in November, but there's also hundreds and hundreds of games you can play in Xbox Game Pass, and I'm take this with a a grain of salt because I've never seen Xbox Game Pass. I don't know what's on there. I just know it's a lot of Xbox games. But if you could get Halo 5 on the Switch over Kirby, maybe Nintendo's like, no, no, we want to make our own streaming service. We don't want that to take away sales from our games. That's 100 games you have to compete with every month. Like if in November 7 games come out, all those games have to
Mm.
compete for people's wallets because people are not rich and can't buy all 7 games. But
Mm.
if you're competing also with Xbox Game Pass, you're competing against hundreds and hundreds of other games also that Nintendo fans have never even had the chance to play before. You're competing against
No, no.
Halo, Gears of War, Dead or Alive, whatever the hell else is on Xbox. I don't even know. But
I feel like Nintendo would also be smart enough to not be stupid enough to let that happen. More so Nintendo than Microsoft, simply because they have not made their kept their promise as to us paying for online and us having some extra quality stuff with it. They don't even release much for the Super Nintendo package that you can play online with friends. No, we don't.
well, I think the original concept was like, since you're paying for the online, here's some free games, and they kind of just went and like, hey, take what you can get. And now it's like, well, we gave you all those free games. You can't complain about it being $20 anymore. You have all these free games with it, and that's it. That's all. That's it. They fulfilled their promise in that sense. They might feel like they did their part, but the Xbox Game Pass would be another level because those are modern games. A lot of games that come out for the new Xbox, whatever it's called. So it's funny. It's funny story that Microsoft's like, no, let's unite, let's be a family, let's all put our pieces together and build this great ecosystem for gaming. And Japan's like, nah, nah,
Well,
nah.
I mean, I don't blame them. I can't stand Phil Spencer either. So
I don't even know nothing about the guy. What's wrong with him? Did he do something?
his name is Phil Spencer.
Yeah, that is a cornball name. That's a Mark name. But 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 yo, I really think that this would be good for gaming if it did come to every console. Because it would break down those arguments between fanboys already, and it would kind of,
Okay, that's a good point.
yeah, I think it would be good for every console to do this. But yeah, I definitely could see Nintendo and Sony being like, nah, we're good. We got our own games. We don't want your service on our platform. Probably there probably was also some back end gotcha with it. Like, hey, we're gonna put Xbox games on your console, but we get XYZ portion of the profits, and you get a little portion. Like maybe the cut isn't as great. Maybe the financials just aren't as good on for Microsoft and Sony and Nintendo at that point. Because he's
I
not.
think the dynamic for it would be hmm, it's a business venture, so I would imagine Microsoft would look at Nintendo and go, "Hey, like let's put it there. We get a cut, and you guys get promotion." Like I don't see how they would essentially split the profits without Microsoft having more of a gain than Nintendo. That's the
um
problem in my
it's
head.
it's such a great thing because there's nothing else like that ever that's happened in gaming. It's never been like, hey, here's the deal. Like, I'm gonna put my games on your console, but I get this portion of the profits or whatnot. It's never happened before. We've never seen anything happen like that before. So we may not see it yet for another 10 years. And we're speculating. We don't know if it's a money thing or if it could be what Sin originally said. It's a branding thing. Maybe Nintendo doesn't want the Xbox logo on their screen. They're prideful. Nintendo's a very prideful company. Sony's extremely prideful.
Mhm.
Maybe they don't want to see an Xbox logo on their dashboard.
Again, for the only reason that I give Nintendo leeway still, which is is slowly getting thinner and thinner, is that Nintendo's the last bastion of gaming company.
It is. It's only 100% only about gaming, and
Yep.
Sony. We know they do thousands of other things: Walkmans, CD players, televisions.
Walkman.
Well, I was going down their history. They didn't start off as a video
I'm
game
sorry.
company. They do movies. They do music. They make the Spider-Man movies. Um, Microsoft, of course, started off with PCs. They were they were in the computer market first until they came to gaming. So yeah, I think Nintendo. I think you're right. Nintendo's the last bastion of gaming. Tapped out. Sega tapped out and only makes games. They don't make consoles anymore. And Nintendo's the only OG from like back in the '80s that's still around.
Mhm.
You know.
Mhm.
So
It's just again, like we've said in the past, certain things that they do are still way too traditional. They need to start making progress. But whatever, we'll talk about it some other time.
yeah, we say that, but then again, they have $1 trillion in the bank. So what do we know? You know what I'm saying?
Oof.
So as long as they keep making money, they're gonna keep doing things their way. You know, that's the
What would
thing.
you do if you had like $1 million of those trillion G's?
I'd spend it all and be back where I'm at right now. I'd be right back where I'm at right now.
Where we're at next? What's coming up next?
Let's see. Let's see. Well, before we do that, would you be hyped if Xbox Pass came Game Pass came to Switch?
Yes, because, and this is gonna be such an unorthodox answer, but because I never want to support Microsoft directly ever again. And yeah, they'll get a cut from my pocket, but no, because Microsoft did me dirty back when I was doing Call of Duty tournaments, and they can kick rocks for all I care for now. So
Yeesh. Yeesh.
I said it. I said it.
Well, I wouldn't be hyped. Me personally, I would not be hyped for it to come to Switch because there's not one damn thing on Xbox that I want to play. Not a damn thing. I can't think of anything besides Ninja Gaiden, which just came to the Switch already on its own, that I would want to play from.
And it runs well.
I've heard otherwise. I've heard it doesn't run that well on any console, to be honest. But
No, well that's saying the game. I'm saying it still runs well. The
yeah,
game itself has issues.
yeah. But now let's talk about Nintendo Indie World that happened 2 weeks ago. This is
Oh,
kind of late because we didn't do a podcast last week. But Nintendo's Indie Showcase happened. There wasn't a lot on there that I'm totally into. I'm not an indie gamer for anybody that doesn't know. I feel like there's too many 2D games. There's too many games that look like Nintendo games. There's too many games that try so hard to be artsy, fartsy, or whatever. And
nothing unique.
yeah, it's nothing that sticks out to me. But this one did start off with some cool stuff because they have a spiritual successor to Jet Grind Radio or Jet Set Radio, depending on where you live. It's a
Whoa.
skateboarding, cell shaded skating game that graffiti. It looks like Jet Grind Radio and everything but name. If you would have told me this is Jet Grind Radio, I would have believed you. But the game is called Bomb Rush Cyberfunk, which
Fun.
I don't know if they should have put that cyberfunk at the end. It's gonna have negative connotations now because of cyberpunk. But that looked really cool, and I would definitely play the jazz out of that. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, we got Axiom Verge 2. If anybody's into
Oh,
Axiom Verge, a game called Eastworld, a game called Toem, Garden Stories, Slime, Pincher, Cost Groove. The only other thing, I'm not gonna read off all of the games because not too many of them stand out to me at all. The only other game that looked really interesting to me is Metal Slug Tactics, which
oh,
I'm a big fan of Metal Slug. Metal Slugs are usually 2D, bullet hell shooters, but this one is actually a tactics role playing game, kind of like Final Fantasy Tactics or Tactics Ogre or Ogre Battle, if you guys know those games, where you fight on a grid and you give commands and whatnot. The 2D sprites still look amazing. It's created by Dot Emu. Dot Emu's track record is looking amazing right now. They did the Streets of Rage 4. They're doing the Ninja Turtles game. They helped out with Scott Pilgrim versus the World. So Dot Emo is doing really good right now. It's a company I'm definitely keeping my eye on. But other than the Bomb Rush, Cyberfunk, and Metal Slug Tactics, there's not a lot on there. Was there any? Did you get to catch that? Did you watch any of that or no?
yes. But I will say that when it comes to indie worlds, I'm very particular. Indie games because I'll keep my eye out on them to see if there's any unique experiences. There has been some in the past that then blossomed and grew, and then they became, instead of indie, they became major titles. Um, that's what I keep an eye on. Some game that will come out with a new twist to something that's old. It's really difficult to come out with something that is new altogether because almost every idea and every approach to gaming has been done. There's a couple of things that I and myself have in my head that if I was a game developer, I would definitely strive to try to make. But the problem is that when you're an indie company, you're limited by the budget that you can acquire. Um, so that's where I wish Nintendo would step in and seek out more indie developers that have newer ideas out there. I feel like something like Galaxy games would be the future of platforming. Platforming is dead essentially, and Mario's the only one carrying it. And I feel like that's something that can be alleviated by making the future of platforming something like Galaxy and not letting Galaxy be the only thing carrying the title of universal circular like non-gravity platforming. That would be amazing if an indie game can approach that. The last indie game that I supported was what was it? It had to do with a snake pass. I cannot remember. Um, and the game was not as good as I thought it was gonna be. I supported it. It had unique approach to getting around the game. It eventually they fixed it with a patch where they made the protagonist faster, which then that made the game actually fun. But for now, I don't see anybody coming through. I don't remember what was the other game that had slow time slowing, and then every time you moved you would shoot, or every time you acted they would move
Oh,
too.
I remember that
And then it
game.
paused.
I remember that game. I don't never played it, but I remember the trailers looked amazing.
Yeah, that game was really good. How anybody out there that can find the game and put it in the comment section or say it on screen, I would highly recommend it. That game was good. I played it, and so you got to think about it, the budget that they have to invest versus what they have. Um, there's a game that I wish somebody would make, which I have yet to see somebody make a game like this one. There was a game on Wii called Little King Story. And it was a hybrid version of Pikmin and RPG elements of sorts, where you would actually raise a village, grow a village, Age of Empires format. And it was really cutesy, but it was so difficult to a degree that it would fool you into thinking it was an easy game, and it was not. It was far from easy, and you had to manage 100 to 300 people at a time and go fight these huge wars, and it was so good. It was so good, and I hope in the future we can see more unique twists to things. But for now, I didn't see anything that will call my attention in this indie world direct.
Yeah, I don't know. There's indie games. There's so many of them, and there's so many that are super artsy fartsy. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good with my mainstream
Is there
big
any
title
game
titles.
that you like, any idea that you think you'd be like, oh, I would want to see an indie
Not one.
approach that?
Not one. Not one.
Oh,
Um,
what about if somebody came out with a Metal Gear ish game of sorts? Because like sneaking around games don't even exist anymore too. Like
my
Ninja Gaiden
my
sneaking or
my whole thing is if I want to play a Metal Gear game, I'm just gonna go play a Metal Gear game, bro. Like,
well, no. I don't mean it like that. I mean like the idea, the concept, like sneaking around, also
I don't. I don't.
doing.
All right, if we're talking about Metal Gear, I don't think just the sneaking around is what makes it Metal Gear. It's not really the
But of course not.
gameplay. It's not really the gameplay that really hooks me in. It's all the elements combined together, and that's
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
what I don't like about indie games. It'll be like, hey, here's a Castlevania indie game, but it's not Castlevania. It's something else. Well,
Yes.
okay, that's cool, but I mean, I play for Castlevania for more than just the gameplay. I like the art. I like the music. I like the atmosphere. I like it's not just about the gameplay. If there,
Well,
yeah, like I don't know.
Well, that would be added. I'm just saying the gameplay mechanic. Is there any gameplay mechanic that you played in the game that you don't see anymore that you wish would be brought back, or just the game altogether, like a new sequel? Because that's how I
Nah,
feel. That's why I feel older and I feel
I don't
outpaced.
know.
Like I feel like newer games that keep coming out. are no, either they're not coming out, right? Like what I used to like, or they're coming out and they're very washed down.
I guess if it was like 5 years ago, I would say, hey, I want to see more beat 'em up games. But now we're like in a beat 'em up renaissance. We got Streets of Rage, we got Scott Pilgrim, we got
That was fun
the Ninja Turtles game coming out. You know, like beat 'em up games are already back, so I don't have to cry for
in
that.
that aspect.
You know, but nah, not really. There's not really a gameplay style or game mechanic that's lost the time that I want to see come back. I would say 2D fighting games, but then again, like Arc System is putting one out next year, and there's so many fighting games I could play that are kind of just like the same style of gameplay. So yeah, there's not too much. There's not too much stuff. I need to go find an indie game to feed my nostalgia for Metroidvania games. There's not too much of that.
Oh, Metroidvania, dude. That's
There's
so.
so
I
many of
wish.
them. There's so many of them. I mean, it's cool that there's a lot of people like that gameplay style, that exploration into the labyrinth. But I don't know, man.
But then they're lacking on everything else.
I don't know, because people love Hollow Knight, people love Axiom Verge, people love, those are all Metroid games with different skin color. You know what I'm saying? But if I want to play Metroid, I'm just gonna go play Metroid though. I'm not gonna, I'm good. I mean, I respect a lot of indie games from like 10 years ago when indie games were like new and it was like, whoa, look at this revolution in gaming, where before there was no indie games during the GameCube PS2 era, but then when the PS3, Xbox, and the Wii came out, there was this sense of like, yo, the game industry is changing now. You can make a game at your house and put it on Xbox Live Arcade or the PS3 online, and like, whoa, I could get my game out there and people can see it. And then you had crowdfunding and you had games, but then now we're 10 years in deep after the indie revolution, and a lot of these indie companies are not really indie. They're big companies that can make big games, but they're going for that indie audience, so they have
Yeah,
like,
and they're still doing the simple stuff instead of pushing it up a
that's what I'm saying.
notch
Look at
too.
Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is made out of Yacht Club Games, and Shovel Knight ends up in every game now. He's made more cameos than freaking Robert De Niro. You know what I'm saying? So like, is Shovel Knight an indie game anymore? No, like he's not. He's just as recognizable as like Ratchet and Clank. He's on that level of like recognizability. Ratchet and Clank's not the most famous character ever, but if you know about gaming, you probably heard of him. So if you've heard about Shovel Knight because you know about gaming, so he's not indie anymore. I don't know.
Mm.
I have a lot of issues with the indie gaming space or whatever. I,
I think the indie space has been stuck in a dilemma for a little bit of years where they don't know how to make the jump into 3D without blowing the budget and also coming up with newer concepts as well. That's another thing that I've noticed.
the last indie game I paid for is the first indie game I paid for is Hotline Miami, and I felt like I love the gameplay mechanics of that game, but I don't think I need to buy 20 more of those games that play the same way. You know what I'm saying? I'm good. I'm good with Hotline Miami 1 and 2, and I'm good. You know.
All right, so what do you got coming up next?
Yo, let's talk about Nintendo ordering ROM site to destroy all games, or else destroy it all,
What?
or else.
Whoa!
This is also coming from Kotaku. ROM Universe, a website where folks could download pirate versions of various Nintendo games and even pay a premium to get downloads faster, was sued into oblivion back in May this
Oof.
year. But Nintendo wasn't done after suing the site for 2.1 million. In new court docs, the judge has ordered the owner of the site to destroy all of his Nintendo ROMs or face legal consequence. ROM Universe was first sued Nintendo in 2019 for what its lawyers called brazen and mass scale infringement. Nintendo won the lawsuit in May and was awarded $2.1 million in damages, which would be paid by ROM Universe owner Matthew Stronham in $50 monthly monthly payments.
Wow.
This guy's gonna be paying Nintendo for the rest of his life. Why did you even do this, Nintendo? At least in theory. However, in July, Nintendo returned to the court after Strowman failed to make his first $50 payment. He failed the first. Yo, this is nuts. I didn't even know this story had all this drama. $50 payment. The game publisher requested a permanent injunction against Strowman as they feared he might be willing to bring back the site online. And now there's more. Yo, this is a grade A juicy story. As spotted by a torrent freak, the judge has now granted Nintendo injunction after taking another look into the case and the ongoing actions by Storman. The court has now ordered Storman to permanently delete all unauthorized Nintendo games or other unauthorized copies of Nintendo's intellectual property, including movies, books, and music. The judge has given Storman until August 17th. This is done. This is over. Oh no, and to comply, he has until 17th to comply, and 20th, now it is over now, to file a declaration with the court verifying he has followed the judge's orders. If he fails to do so, he could face perjury charges. After the result of this new injunction filed last week in the U.S. Court District, Strowman can no longer distribute, copy, sell, or even play. Can't even play them. Unauthorized Nintendo ROMs. He is also barred from using any Nintendo trademarks or logo. Truly, the website cannot catch a break from Nintendo, huh? Yo, damn, Nintendo. What's your problem, yo?
Damn, Nintendo, you scary.
What do you think about this, Sen? Talk to me.
All right, so my stance will never change on this. Look. When it is convenient for Nintendo, they'll turn a blind eye because it'll lead to publicity. But the second they feel like every now and then somebody might be making a little bit too much of a profit, which too much might be like $1,000, they just lose their crap and then they start, suing and whatnot. I'm just sitting here thinking, if you are not supplying us with the old games, you're not making a profit, you're not making any money of your trademarks, you aren't even utilizing them, what do you care? Mm-hmm. And like if I was to be objective, obviously it is their trademark, it is their stuff, like it is being used, quote unquote, illegally, but you're getting free publicity. Like, what's the problem? The problem is what I said, the objective part, but you're just getting free publicity. So Nintendo just loses their crap because the old traditional way of dealing with these kinds of things is to just be like, oh, that's my stuff, you're stealing, shut it down. Look, the one example that kills me forever, and I will have a disdain for Nintendo for this, is when the creator of a Metroid-based fan game got shut down, had their game completely shut down. Then Nintendo all of a sudden had the cojones to bring out the Return of Samus, which was basically that. I'm like, what? So the Nintendo just show up, right? Where's my FBI open up button? Hold on, I gotta click it while we're doing this. No, you know what? Yeah, they just showed up and we're just like, you need to close this down. Oh, by the way, guys, this is a great idea. Let's just take stuff. No, come on, Nintendo. Look, take these people that are doing whatever it is they're doing. Forget you know what? Scratch that. Let's unify this topic. Not only do they shut down ROM suppliers, which is free and it's free publicity, they also shut down fan game maze that, yeah, okay, it is utilizing some of your trademarks, but it is a unique game that takes years to develop and make, like the Pokemon fan games. And instead of hiring these people to make these kinds of things with them and for them, they instead choose to cease in the system, take the assets, and then later, years later, release it themselves, which they wouldn't have done if it wasn't for the fans. And now you just lost a hardcore fan that was probably hardcore investing into your games that would never spend a cent on you. And if they had a huge following, such as like 2,000-3,000 followers, that's 3,000 followers times $60 that you just lost.
This is a wild story. They told this guy, yeah, you owe Nintendo $2.1 million. And he must have been broke. The judge must have figured out that he was broke. Because why else would they be okay with him paying $50 a month? Bro, that means he'd be paying Nintendo for the rest of his life. And
Just
then,
imagine this man showing up to the first time paying the $50, and the only reason they said he failed to pay was because he was like 5 cents short.
bro, we don't even have that piece of the story. That might have been the case. Like, yo, I don't have 5 cents. So, like, dude, how do you are you expecting this guy to pay you? He doesn't make money off of the website. These are free. ROMs are free, bro. So that's anarchy. He would have been paying that his whole life. I want to do the math on screen right now and take out my calculator and see how long it would have took him to get to 2.1 million. But I don't even know how to put 2.1 million in the calculator. But
I'll tell you.
listen, Nintendo, you need to relax. But I do think that it is for the reason you said. I agree. Nintendo's probably thinking, hey, we could resell these games and make money off of them off our console.
Is it monthly payments?
It's monthly, $50 monthly.
Okay,
So that's what 50 times 12 is what?
50 times 12
Yeah, that's a year.
is 600.
$600 a year. 600 divide.
And 2 million divided by 50 was 40,000. So 40,000 payments.
Jesus,
You have to complete.
Christ, bro, 40,000.
So if it's 60, if it's 600, 600, right? So how do we take? What do we got to do with the 40,000 and the 600 and the 600?
I'm not good at math, but somebody, if you guys are in the chat and you could do the math for us, how long would it have taken this guy to pay Nintendo all 2.1 million if he was making $50 a month, paying $50 a month? This is crazy. And then he couldn't even pay the first month. He couldn't even pay the first. I'm thinking he was a rebel and said, I'm not paying Nintendo. What the hell? I'm not giving them my $50.
66 years.
It would have taken him 66 years? Are you kidding me?
Maybe.
If he's 30 years old, he's done paying when he's 100? Yo,
Maybe,
my
that's what
God.
I'm thinking. But whatever, he be dead.
It's a tricky one, man. I don't know. Nintendo has every legal right to do what they do. But damn, man, some of these games are lost of time, and you're never gonna re-release them, Nintendo. So it's like,
or 666 years, whatever, one of the two.
Like, why do you guys do this? Like, why are your lawyers so brutal? Damn. And it sucks for me because sometimes I want to go throw on an emulator, but I gotta go find the game online, and then I can't find it. And I have to go to the shadiest websites where like I could get like 20 viruses from downloading this game from this website. Damn, man, that sucks. That definitely sucks, man.
I feel like Nintendo's draconian when it comes to these kinds of things.
I feel like you're right. And they have every legal right to be like that. But I just, when it comes to the preservation of gaming, when I think like, man, one day I'm never gonna be able to play some of the games from my childhood, or like even games that are coming out, they came out yesterday. I mean, could you imagine? Like, just like, what's one of your favorite games of all time? Just pick one.
Xenoblade.
Okay, imagine Xenoblade never gets re-released after the Switch is done. Imagine you can never play Xenoblade 20 years from now, and you're telling your kid, like, hey, man, my favorite game of all time is Xenoblade. Oh, that's a cool game, Dad. Where can I play it? I want to play the game you played. You can't, son, because Nintendo's the devil. You can't play it. You can't play it nowhere because Nintendo got rid of emulation sites, so you can't play it nowhere.
It's not like the old console, like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, where you could say, yeah, maybe if I put some rubber and alcohol and clean it out nice and, it'll still work. No. We're talking about CDs and memory cards and consoles that are made out of, like, the oldest of plastics. Like, trust me, that shit won't... Yeah, Nintendo's... somebody clip that.
Bro, the thing is, CDs, they have an expiration date because... They said CDs are going to start melting or disappearing within like 20 years from now. So in 20 years, they said no CD will work anymore because the material they're made out of wasn't made to last 100 years. Cartridges might still work. But good luck holding on to your Super Nintendo for 20 years.
Kraken says Sega was a saint all along.
Yeah, Sega's cool with people making indie games. I mean, not indie games, fan made games or even ROM sites.
That's
Sega,
how not generate right generations.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, what's Sonic Mania? Sonic Mania, you mean?
Mania. That's how that one came
That's
about.
how that game got made because they found people making fan games and they liked it. So, but Sega, all right, if we look at Sega, then if that's the case, then Sega, these fan games kind of put Sega out of business because during the Dreamcast era, everybody was bootlegging the games. So maybe that's what Nintendo's scared of too, just losing money from all of this. But the thing is, back then there weren't even like streaming services when the Dreamcast was out. If Nintendo just made a streaming service where you could play every Nintendo game, every Super Nintendo game, every Nintendo 64 game, every GameCube game, like if you did that, people would stop going to ROM sites. Like you would eliminate the competition. Who downloads movies anymore from illegal websites? Don't answer the question because who knows who's watching right now. But just think in your head, like, do I download movies legally? You probably don't. And the reason you don't download illegal movies is because you can watch a movie anywhere. I can go to Hulu, I go to Netflix, I go to Chillbox, I go to Redbox, I go to HBO Max, I go to over this and over there, and everything's everywhere. You can watch any movie ever from like the 1970s, the 1940s. You can watch Casablanca anywhere, like, and that's why you don't need to download it illegally because they're available to us. Movies are not going to be lost to time. Video games, video games are not like that. There's no streaming service. There's no HBO Max for video games. So if the console doesn't play old games, look at the Wii. Look at the Wii. If the console is not like the Wii, then we're done. You're not going to be able to play this game no more, and it's over. Your favorite game of all time is lost in time. It's gonna be like the Bible. You're gonna be like, when I was a kid, Streets of Rage was the best, and your kid's like, I don't believe in Streets of Rage, Dad. Son, you must believe it's true. No, Dad, I don't believe in Streets of Rage. I think that never happened. My religion tells me the Jedi are evil, and it's like, son, I'm telling you, I experienced it. No, Dad, I'm agnostic. And it's like, bro, you can't even argue with your kid because you got no way to prove to him that Streets of Rage 2 was one of the best games of all time.
Leechkin says, nobody's stopping me from keeping my ROMs.
Keep them. If you got ROMs on your PC, keep them and store them and take care of them, bro, because who knows what's going to happen in the future. A kid says Streets of Rage is evil. I'd make them go to church. Facts. I don't care if I want a game or a movie. I'll get it legally. Mighty Pizza Savage. The thing is, you don't have to get a movie illegally. Every movie's available everywhere.
Bro, at my corner store, I could just walk in there and they got a stack right there when you're trying to buy your damn sandwich.
The thing is, like, yo, if Nintendo just provided people access to these old games, then you wouldn't have emulation going crazy out there.
Seriously.
And emulation is not even going crazy. It's not like before. When I was a kid, emulation was kind of scary because it was like, yo, the Nintendo 64 console, you can get it on your computer. And the Nintendo 64 was like still pretty new. Like, that was crazy. You could either buy a Nintendo 64 or just learn how to do it on your computer, which was kind of difficult. But you could learn. PS1 too.
Yeah,
But modern games, you're not going to figure out how to... You're not going to get a Nintendo Switch game running on your PC correctly. You're not going to be able to do that. And who's going to provide it?
Here's the thing. My problem with it is they're creating the problem and making it bigger. Kind of the
rebellion
effect. Where
it's the effect of creating a government where you're like, you set too many rules. There's so many rules, and now everybody wants to break them because they want freedom. You created your own rebellion. You created your own worst enemy. My Nintendo going, hey, get rid of all of our stuff. Get rid of everything. They're creating rebels, and rebels fight wars. Young Frankenstein's here for fight for the cause.
But all the other companies have the issue. They'll have rounds being made, but here's the difference: if you have a company that doesn't come down on you with a hammer, eventually you can download these rounds, but you're gonna want the real thing. So when they do a remaster or they really re-release it as a classic as downloadable, you'll be like, hey, you know what? I want to support the company. I'm gonna pay for it. Nintendo, on the other hand, all of a sudden they shut down your ROM, and you're like, well, why am I gonna pay for it? They're still smacking my hands whether I do it or not. So you know what? I'm just gonna do it free.
And you know what? I could easily download a ROM of every Sega Genesis game, but I still will pay for like new Sonic remasters. I will pay for Sonic Adventure if it comes to the Switch again. I'll pay for it. And you know what? I it's not because I'm trying to support Sega. Sega don't care about me. I don't care about Sega. It's because it's just gonna be easier to get it running and play it. Like if I want to play an emulation, it's so much work. Like I gotta get all my controls, all the buttons mapped and everything like that, and make sure that I have the great graphic settings and all this other jazz. But if it comes out on the Switch, it's gonna play on the Switch perfectly, and I don't have to worry about those kind of things. So it's like I will pay for the game again if you re-release the game, Nintendo, even though I have the ROM, because I know if you re-release the game, it's gonna run better than it will on my PC or my phone or wherever people emulate games on. So you don't need to do this. Just because I have the ROM, don't mean I won't pay for the game again. I got Metal Gear Solid 3 on my PC. I could play it right now on the emulator for PS2, but it's hard to get it running. If you release it on the Switch, I'll buy it on the Switch again. Look, I bought No More Heroes 1 and 2 again. I got the ROMs for that too, but I'll still pay for it again because on the Switch it runs way better than it does on my PC.
That's right. That's
Marv,
right.
what if I can show you the world? Lich King is Morpheus from the Matrix. Take this red pill and you will have every Sega Genesis game. Take this blue pill and you'll return back to your normal life and not know anything about emulators. That's all I got to say about that, though. Sin, you got anything else to add there?
Oh no, I said what I had to say.
Okay.
All I know is Nintendo's gonna cut off their own foot eventually if they keep this up.
I don't think so. I don't think it's ever gonna harm them financially, and it's never gonna bother them.
It will.
I hope you're right, because then there's some punishment to it. But remember, they've been doing this for 20 years. They've been getting rid of emulator sites. This isn't something new, and they're still got a
Yeah, but the, yeah, but
trillion dollars in the bank.
the online stuff is more recent.
I guess, but man, these guys got $1 trillion in the bank. They're not worried about these emulation sites disappearing, you know. And on top of that, me and you are hardcore gamers. We know about this emulation stuff. The mass majority of people who buy video games have no idea they can get all these games for free on their computer. On top of that, people don't even buy computers anymore. Most people have their cell phone, and that's enough for them to get on the internet. They don't need to buy a PC. We have it because we're gamers and we're whatever. We're hardcore. We gotta have all the high best end technology. Majority of gamers do not know about emulators, so it doesn't bother Nintendo at all. But we'll see. We'll see. Moving forward, though. Moving forward.
Yo.
Here we go. Masuhiro Sakurai and Kazuhira Murata will talk about retirement during Harada's bar stream at 8 a.m. So, listen, guys. I guess Harada has like this kind of little podcast kind of thing where he talks about stuff with other fighting game developers. I don't even know if it's just fighting game developers or just other video game developers in general. But during this show, he had Sakurai on, and it's very interesting to see Sakurai outside of his normal settings of only seeing him through Nintendo Directs and Nintendo produced stuff. And September 18th, Bravery the fuck up. Yeah, September 18th makes you guys show up. But yes, Masahiro Sakurai appeared on Sakurai's bar. If you don't know who Sakurai is, I mean, I hope you know who Sakurai is if you're watching this podcast or listening. He's the creator of Super Smash Brothers. Harada is not the creator of Tekken, but he has been like the guiding force of Tekken since Tekken 3. He's been like the pilot of that ship wherever it goes. So on this podcast, they kind of had a lot of interesting questions that you never would think Sakurai would ever talk about. I'm trying to find the real article for this because I don't think this is the real article.
No, while you find the article, the one thing that I find the answer that a sentence that he said that cracked me up was that he liked the memes that came out for him and whatnot, but at the same time he disliked how they would make him say things that he never said in them. He doesn't like that people use other people's powers, through photos and whatnot, to represent themselves, and therefore it stains the image of the individual. And however, he understands that goes with the times in the modern times.
Yes,
So
yes, yes. So yeah, that was one of the main things that people took out of this. That he's like, memes are cool or whatever, but I don't like it when they make me say things that I didn't really say, because it's like
like when
some people might think that I really said that, which is not
like when he
wrong.
said don't ever ask me for anything again. He never said
He
that.
never said that. He never said that. Never said that. Little bullet points from the interview. Harada showed off several images, including the "never ask me for anything again" meme, which we just covered. Sakurai notes that he has never actually said those words, and that he wishes people to stop using his face to say false things. Another bullet point regarding PR, Sakurai said that the Smash team doesn't have money to make videos showing off DLC characters, which is why he shows off how to play as them himself. So, listen, the budget is already spent on Smash. Those videos of him showing how to play with every character, that's out of his free will. People get memed every day, B. I got dirt on you, doggy. Listen, Harada commented that in this day and age, especially in America, players prefer when a game developer directly involves himself in PR. Yes, I feel so much better when I see the creator of a game showing off the game than when it's just like a trailer or something like that. I feel like I'm more connected with the game creator. I love creators in general. So seeing people who make games talk about games, playing their own games is kind of amazing to me. Another bullet point, Sakurai and Harada, two of them worked together on the video introducing Kazuya's addition to Smash. According to Harada, fans' image of Sakurai is not so far off from what he is actually like when he's around industry contemporaries. However, Sakurai commented that he heard people refer to him as a scary tyrant who takes total control of everything. So he's heard people say that he's like a big boss and like is like
Well,
drop
the
down the
actual
hammer.
translation was that they will call him mysterious.
Yes, yes, yes. So, Harada followed up by commenting that in a game like Smash, where many characters are borrowed from other companies, you must adhere to given standards. Being strict is positive and professional. So Sakurai, I mean, Harada's pretty much just telling him like, yo, you're doing what has to be done to get things done, because you're playing with other people's property. Pretty much, it's you have to play it safe, or they won't let you borrow those characters again. Harada then added, "Oh, okay, go ahead."
No, real quick, don't lose your place. But which is funny because in one of I saw the interview in Japanese, and it was pretty funny how Harada said that. Oh, and what about the transition for Kazuya from Tekken into Smash? That seemed pretty easy and smooth, didn't it? And immediately Sakurai was like,
Not that easy.
no, no,
Not
no, no,
that
no, no,
easy.
no.
Not that easy. And it's funny because Harada was the one probably saying, no, Kazuya's got to do this and that and that and that. That's how it is. That's how it is when you guys think it's just, here's my character. Go make them play whatever way you want. No. Squaresoft, Sega, Bandai, Namco, all these companies say, hey, that's not how Snake looks. Snake's butt is not that big. Listen, it's strict. It's very strict. Then we get to the part that Sin was talking about the mysteriousness. Harada then added that Sakurai is a rather mysterious, to which Sakurai joked that he should he should play the X-Files theme
The
whenever he walks
X-Files,
around.
they showed him in the going up to the elevator. And he's like, imagine if I just play the X-Files music every time I'm doing something mysterious. And then they show him just clicking the elevator, just standing there waiting for the elevator, like.
On a side note, do you think it's Sakurai is like mysterious like that?
No. He's more of an analytical person, from what I've noticed from just that one interview. He's very like calm and chill and analytical. That's what he is.
I thought of him as like mysterious only because when we see videos of like his house and his like his personality, I feel like there's like somebody else there. I don't know. There's somebody else on the inside.
That's no. Is that's how Japanese culture is?
Maybe you're right, but I always think I did think he was like mysterious. He has every video game console. He has 2 TVs in his living room for every video game console, which is crazy.
Touché.
Harada even thought that Sakurai could see ghosts because of his sensitive and mysterious personality. Yeah, that was definitely a joke, but yeah, I could see Sakurai seeing being able to see ghosts.
It translates. I'll explain
Yeah.
later.
Okay, no, go ahead, explain it now. Explain it now.
So they say because what they meant was because he's mysterious, he must be sensitive to ghosts because he's always so mysterious that he's in that realm of like mystery and suspense and ghosts. That's what it was.
The
He's
next
sensitive to ghosts.
Yeah, man, I feel it. The next bullet point says Sakurai noted that horror movies and games do not affect him as he focuses more on how the games are made, which makes sense.
Yes.
I make podcasts, and when I listen to a podcast, I just think about how it's being made rather than the actual content. Um, Harada agreed by commenting that when people playing fighting games, he's more interested in the programming rather than who wins or loses, which makes sense. If you make fighting games, you're probably more thinking about the technical stuff than who's actually winning and losing. That makes a lot of sense. I love the fact that they sat down and talked, particularly because they are two separate, very separate sides of the fighting game spectrum. You have Sakurai, who many people don't even consider a fighting game maker, even though I 100% think he is. He's very calm, very collected, very analytical, as Sin said, and he seems to know what he's doing and have all his ducks in order almost all the time. Then you have Harada, who's kind of wild and brash and kind of like this rock and roll figure of Tekken. He's known for wild publicity stunts. The whole thing with Street Fighter and Ono and all this other stuff that was going on. He's a wild boy. He makes funny videos too. Sakurai, you won't really see him in memes. I mean, not that you won't see him in memes. You won't see him doing comedic things on like trailers for his games, like how Harada kind of does sometimes. So I love this dynamic of two people from very different ends of the spectrum talking. You have the I guess a party game fighter or the platform fighting game maker, which the FGC does not respect as much as like traditional fighting games, which I wish that would change, but it is what it is, I guess. Then you have Harada, who's showing so much respect to Sakurai, despite him being like considered the traditional fighting game FGC hair on your chest kind of guy. It's almost admiration he's showing to Sakurai for making Smash Brothers. I love this. I love two people from two different ends of the world, or at least the gaming world, having a conversation and showing respect to each other like that. It's like if Sin was like a Fortnite streamer and I was like a Call of Duty streamer, and I'm like Fortnite's for kids, but I still show mad respect to Sin even though because he's like a great gamer or whatever. It's kind of like that. It's kind of like that. Two separate people talking to each other.
I also find it funny how he can't find video game movies scary. Scary
Horror
games.
games. Horror
Scary.
games.
Yeah. Because he's just like, oh, I wonder how they got that character to
Uh-huh.
move that way and the shading and the.
Yeah, it makes perfect sense. It
Um,
makes perfect sense.
they also celebrated his birthday, which was pretty funny because when they brought out a cake because I guess they're not gonna see him for a while. They were like, you know what, we'll celebrate your birthday early. They brought out a cake, and he blew out candles on a cake, and he's like, oh, I don't get to do that this often anymore. And then somebody said, why not? Like in a way to suggest that maybe he's just always working and so busy. And he's like, well, I'm not a kid anymore. It's kind of hard to get a cake and just blow out candles. It's like, oh wow,
It's
okay.
facts. It's facts. It's facts. Definitely facts. But yeah, man, great interview. I'm happy. I'm happy that he got to have a chat like this. Kraken, I think Lich King is referring to Kirby being his son because Sakurai definitely keeps Kirby alive in a lot of the trailers. That's for sure. I don't think Kirby's died yet in
Mhm.
any trailer. But shout out to them. That was a cool thing. That was a cool thing to watch. I would love to see Sakurai or even Harada talk to somebody else in the fighting game, space like genre. It's one of
But
those
that was
other
the first
creators.
episode, so hopefully they'll do more.
That was a great first episode too. So he should have saved that one for last maybe because I don't know if
Nah,
he's.
nah, nah, nah.
I mean, who is he gonna get bigger than Sakurai? When it comes to fighting game makers, if he's only talking to fighting game makers, I don't know. How many fighting game creators do you know? There's not
Nah, I
Harada.
think he's gonna talk to other people as well.
So he's probably gonna talk to like Hideo Kojima and like I don't know. Maybe who else? There's not that many big names in
You
gaming
had to
anymore.
bring up Kojima. I feel so bad for Metal Gear right now. It's just, anyways.
I'm saying, who else could he talk to? I don't know if he's gonna be able to talk to someone bigger than Sakurai. Miyamoto, is he gonna talk to Miyamoto? Like, I don't think Miyamoto even is like focused on video games right now anymore. You know,
Thoughts on waifus? Wait, who? Us or Sakura?
I don't
Anyways.
know. Anyway, the next topic is definitely all yours, Sin. Take us away with this Pokemon Arceus slash Pokemon Unite stuff.
All right, let me hop over here. All right, so ladies and gentlemen, if you weren't paying attention, we had a trailer reveal for a Pokemon presentation for the games that are out now and the games that are up and coming, which was Pokemon Arceus, Pokemon Unite, and another update for Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. I'll get out of the way. Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, I believe that's their name. They look much better. They look better polished. All the complaints about people going, "Oh, it looks so horrible." Yeah, get them out the window. It does look good. I'm not interested. I never been interested in remakes. There hasn't been a single time that I've been interested outside of Heart and Gold and Soul Silver. It looks digestible for those the fan base that wants to buy it. Next, Pokemon Arceus. The game is everything we wanted it, like 20 years ago. Finally, I guess they're listening to us. They demonstrated a trailer where they show older versions. This is supposed to be around the time when Pokemon first started happening. So I guess kind of like a Breath of the not Breath of the Wild, the Skyward Sword situation, where we know I guess we're gonna reveal the god. Arceus is supposed to be the god of Pokemon, and the origin of Pokemon is the first time you see humans catching Pokemon, interacting with them and whatnot. And the wow thing is that you actually have to sneak around like in the grass and whatnot. Because guess what? For the first time ever, Pokemon can attack human beings. Human beings cannot just walk around willy nilly. So there are certain Pokemon that you can actually capture from the go, and the others you have to battle. It looks amazing. It's kind of Breath of the Wild ish. The menu kind of seems like it as well. And you also roam in this humongous wild area, and they showed off, of course, a variety of Pokemon, which was very interesting. This is what we wanted long ago. We want more on top of it. We need more on top of it, and I'm hoping that they do not skim on adding as many Pokemon as possible. But I bet you they will. Uh, Stay tuned for more content, but definitely right now, everybody I see in the YouTube community and just overall in the gaming community is having a positive reaction to it. Um, I know, Marv, you're not that much into Pokemon, but have you even seen it at all?
I haven't
What came
seen.
out for
I
it?
didn't know that a new trailer came out for. I'm about to watch it now, but yeah. Shout out to Pokemon. I think I did say when the first trailer came out that this is definitely something that I've heard people say they've wanted for 20 years. So Sin's 100% right about that. And listen, if it's like really on that level of like Breath of the Wild, maybe I might have to dip my toes in and see. Because
It's Breath of the Wildest. Yeah, you definitely explore a lot, and I actually saw the human trainer get hit without a Pokemon thrown out. Like the Pokemon was raging. We don't know why there's Pokemon raging, and legit, just the trainer just goes ah, and you're just like, oh, okay. I guess Pokemon now don't give a crap, and you're gonna get hit by them.
that makes a lot of sense, bro. Because why wouldn't a Pokemon, especially a Pokemon as big as like a Rhydon or something huge like this,
Yes, that's
Onyx?
what happened.
Why wouldn't it? Why wouldn't they attack you? Because like they're huge. Some
I
Pokemon
wanted
are,
to.
so like dinosaurs, like right?
Yeah. I wanted to see a big Pokemon. Like I don't care which one. Just attack them and then just like send them to bloody hell. Just be like, "Ugh."
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense.
um. And finally, we had some updates announced for Pokemon Unite, which is the game that is now, guess what, coming to mobile, which we all suspected, because it originally looks like a mobile game. They're gonna make a cross play. You're gonna be able to play from Switch to mobile, and they added two new characters that are coming up soon, which is mamoswine and sylveon. Again, the game is a light mobile type of ordeal, kind of like League of Legends. I'm still having a lot of fun with it. I feel as though it's not everybody's cup of tea, but for now, it seems as though what they are doing is they're putting the chips in and hoping that it blossoms into something bigger. unlike Pokken Tournament, which kind of like fizzled out because just it's always Nintendo just being cheap with the whole tournament scene. Like there hasn't been a single tournament Nintendo scene that's lasted without our support, us individually as independent. Like Smash Bros is the perfect example. But yeah, Pokemon Arceus. Stay tuned for it.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Shout out to Pokemon Arceus. So I'm gonna wait till it actually pulls me into Lich King. Yeah, we'll see. I'm kind of in the same boat. I want to see I want to see more about this game and see what it's like. Um, I really don't. I really don't know about Pokemon games like that. So maybe this could be the one finally. So we'll see. We'll see.
All right, hold on. So let me go. Let me go to the Wario one because I thought it was funny. I'll leave the Olympics one for last because that was pretty funny. All right, so. All right, so they released for those that are unaware, there's a demo out right now for WarioWare Get It Together.
Oh, for real? I'm gonna get that.
Get it together, people. What's wrong with you?
What's the matter with
Rocky
you?
was
Huh?
a good movie.
Rocky 3. Hey.
This demo available out right now. It's a mashup of over 200 quick and quirky micro games to participate in as Wario sets out to use his signature style and smell. To fix his latest harebrained business scheme. To do so, he must play a twisted collection of micro games that range from assembling a robot to pulling out a statue's armpit hair. I'm just hoping that they use the Joy-Con better this time around. Use the quirks and nips and tricks to make it more fun. I don't know if they will do that. Fix Joy-Con drift. And it seems like the game is going to come out September 10th, 2021. It looks like a lot of fun. I definitely do want to get it. And apparently it also has a story mode.
Story mode and WarioWare. I was hoping they would one day dive deeper into the characters because WarioWare has a lot of cool characters in it.
Yeah. I definitely enjoyed. You know what game I wish they would do again? Wario Land. I enjoyed the game. It was like a Mario.
Wario Land was amazing. Oh my god! I wish more people played that. There's so many cool ideas in that game that never came back.
They did it on the Wii, right? Like they released a Wii version. It was so good.
But it was a 2D one. Yeah, it was good though. But I like the 3D one, the GameCube one, Wario World.
Also, along with this topic, remember, guys, we have WarioWare coming out September 10th. We have less than 10 days, I believe, for No More Heroes 3, which is a really good game that I recommend anybody get, other than if you're under 17 or 13. 17. Ask your parents. Ask your parents. Ask your parents. The game is going to be good. And also, finally, Metroid Dread is around the corner as well. And all three games are looking amazing. I'm hoping that they're amazing.
It's a good lineup. It's a good lineup. It's a good lineup. I like those three games.
Yeah, what's funny for the last couple months? I would say this year, from September, from January till now, we've been griping about games coming out that we may be interested in the Nintendo platform. Those are actually three that I'm
all three of them. I'm like, WarioWare. I don't know if I'll pay for it. I might wait until there's a sale or something. But No More Heroes and Metroid Dread, I'm buying those day one.
Yes,
I'm streaming them.
Did you know that? Did you know the story behind why Metroid Samus's outfit looks like what it does? Did you ever play Metroid Fusion?
I never played Metroid Fusion. I'm lying. I play little bits and pieces of it, but I know why it's like that because she got infected by the parasite or whatever.
Yeah, and then she got destroyed, and now the Shozo suit is slowly re-healing.
Yeah.
So I like it because you see the progress and I've seen some screenshots. The Shozo, her outfit is slowly healing, and you see I saw a screenshot of her shoulder pads are coming back, and then I guess she gets attacked again and all over again. She's like, crap, I gotta heal again.
Yeah. There was a new trailer for Metroid Dread, which I didn't put on the list because it didn't have that much. It didn't have that much in it. But the new trailer, if you guys haven't seen it, is kind of just her flying to the planet and in her ship and kind of getting out, and then her crash landing, chaos ensues. It's kind of like a classic Metroid situation. But yes. Metroid Dread, it's gonna be probably the first 2D Metroid game that I beat, and it's probably gonna be that's a big one. That's probably game of the year for a lot of people, I think.
It's an adult game, I'll tell you that much. I don't think people realize. I don't think people realize how difficult Metroid games can be.
Oh yeah, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. Metro games definitely on the harder scale of especially from Nintendo's catalog. It's one of the harder
Yes.
Nintendo games. They picked a good time to drop it. I think because this year doesn't have a lot going on. So as far as
Hmm.
contenders for game of the year, if you really even think about the other consoles, I think Halo, whatever 6 or 5 is coming out soon.
Hmm.
I don't even know if it's gonna make it to this year. But if you really think about this holiday season of gaming, I think Metroid could be the number one game. I can't think of anything else coming out. Of course, the Call of Duties and everything are coming out again in this fall. But as far as like something new, if you want to call Metroid new, um, that game probably is going to be the game of the holidays, like the big one.
That's right. That's
Yeah,
right.
I can't think of anything else that's coming out, even for other consoles.
Yeah, you know what's funny, and this is also random, but the new Pokemon Snap game had like free DLC that snuck under everybody's radar. When nobody knew that Pokemon Snap was gonna have free DLC. And then now, like all of a sudden, you can shrink yourself and go inside trees and take pictures of Like,
What? Yeah, I forgot. I forgot that Pokemon Snap even came out, bro. I don't know anybody that has that game. You have that game?
yeah, I know plenty of people. And what's funny is that you can shrink yourself and like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids type of style.
If I was like a little kid, I think I would love Pokemon Snap again because the old one I did spend a lot of time with it. But
It's
at
good.
my age, I don't know if I could spend money on a game where I just take pictures of stuff. I don't know.
It's more than taking pictures and stuff. But the problem is that the older we get, the more we think our time is precious. So just playing a chill game that moves at a constant pace, you're just like, I need to go.
Yeah, and I kind of think that should have been a free to play mobile game too. I think I don't know. Maybe because I haven't played it, but I kind of feel like if that was free to play, because what I thought was gonna happen was that social media was gonna be flooded with Pokemon Snap pictures at one point, but it hasn't happened. It hasn't happened, and I think it would have
No,
benefited from free to
what they
play.
did was they made it so that it has an online board for it. That's why.
I'm sure, but I think it would have been bigger if it was on mobile. I think that should have been a mobile game. And
Yeah, I do
I
agree.
never say that. I don't, I hate mobile games. I never say that, but I think Pokemon Snap might have been better on mobile, to be honest with you, as free to play. Because then it would have been a lot of good publicity for Nintendo, because there would have been pictures all over social media with it. And you know, young people, old people, everybody could play it, kind of like Pokemon Go. It would have had that effect, I think.
I agree.
That's
I
yeah,
agree.
but I mean, it is what it is. Maybe they wanted to make money, you know.
But yeah, so if you guys aren't aware yet, those games are coming out. Save your pennies, guys, because there's some pretty stuff coming out soon. And lastly, lastly, I know we talked about this before, but we've uncovered some more sources talking about the Olympics and the stuff that didn't come out for Nintendo, which is just so many things pulled out of the Olympics, all simply because, well, okay, fine, COVID, but also the stigma that happened with with the Olympics and the whole cardboard beds and the things that were happening,
The Panini,
and the things,
the
no,
Panini,
the panini, yes, the
the
paninis.
global Panini.
They were sandwiching.
Yeah,
So Bunchen came forward with another major league that details various changes for the Olympics, and it's barbaric because you can't see and you can hear certain parts where there's actually video game tracks that were playing in the beginning, and then they just eventually just do it the fizzled away. For those of us that watched the Olympic, um, but it was in a proposed video. Mario was supposed to be in the Olympics in Tokyo, coming out through a pipe at a certain point. Then he would be throwing one of the balls that is passed among various popular characters before finally returning to Mario's hands. Mario from there dives into two screens, and that's the start of the actual opening ceremony. So they were legitimately supposed to open the ceremony.
hmm
There was going to be other characters that were going to partake along with this. Along Pikachu, Sonic, and Hello Kitty are also featured. Bunchen also highlights other characters, the likes of Pac-Man, Goku, Tsubasa Ozora from Captain Tsubasa, and Doraemon. Why did they remove any of this? This would have been great. I get you would have had a little bit of negative stigma, but I would have tuned into the Olympics just for that.
yeah. This is wild stuff. This is wild stuff.
What?
The only oddball out I think is Hello Kitty, but maybe I don't know. I don't think of Hello Kitty as a video game character.
Hello Kitty has a lot of video games in Japan.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I mean, Captain Tsubasa. I know he's very popular. There's a lot of soccer fans in Japan, but I don't know. Hello Kitty stands out to me. Like what?
There was it runs my mind wild to know that there were supposed to be so many gaming references. I think it was supposed to be packaged with a one of the Olympic games that are on gaming, but I'm don't quote me on that. Unfortunately, so many things were scribed. This was a pandemic and this in the sex situation, the sex scandal, that Nintendo just pulled the plug on it. I feel as though that was a bad choice. It would have been so much good publicity, and so many people that don't care about Olympics, such as gamers, it would have been watching. In the future,
Yeah.
that does lead to believe and leads me to question why Nintendo does not do that more often in other venues. It's not a missed opportunity. It certainly wouldn't be a missed opportunity if they ever release a movie, like just screening with Mario there and whatnot. That would be great. But they just hold all their cards to their chest, and that's the unfortunate part.
Yeah, it would have been pretty amazing, and who knows when the next time the Olympics are going to be in Japan. Plus, Mario and Sonic have Olympic games every couple years, so it's crazy. When they finally get the opportunity to have Mario and Sonic at the actual Olympics, they pass it up. But you can't be too mad at them for thinking like, hey, we're in a pandemic. Like, this really shouldn't be going on right now.
No,
You can't really argue with
but
that.
at the end of the day, the lesson to learn from this is maybe we should start asking Nintendo to use their IPs outside of things that they think will be beneficial. And look at us, because we literally asked for it, and we were tuning in for that day one when it was what, like 2 or 3 tracks that played from video game
I think it was like
OSTs.
5. I think I don't know.
Yeah, and people
Yeah,
tuned in. Like the numbers were
yeah,
there. Imagine people that don't care
yeah.
zil, and we were still there. So
I mean, I remember the Nintendo used to own the baseball team, the Seattle
yes,
Mariners, and
yeah.
they used to let you use your 3DS or DS to look at the score and I think even like do other cool things at the ballpark. I think if Nintendo would have been at the Olympics, there would have been some cool tie-in thing with your Switch if you had it on you where you were watching. You could see things like on there for the Olympics. It probably would have been cool, but I don't know, man. I can't really be too mad at them. They were like, nah, it's too much going on right now, yo.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
pandemic has unfortunately shut down a
Plus,
lot of
you
things.
know Akira, the movie Akira, right? The movie
Yes.
Akira, it takes place after the Tokyo Olympics, and maybe there's some stigma in Japan with the 2020 Olympics because of that movie. Because that movie, if you've seen it, it's like a post-apocalyptic movie, and it predicted the Olympics being in Japan the same year that the pandemic happened. There's some wicked, like, coincidental, like, craziness going on there with tying into that movie and the Olympics. That is a wild, wild, wild coincidence that all. Because I think that people know where the Olympics is going to be like 20 years in advance or 30 years. Because how did the creator of that manga know that the Olympics were going to be in Japan this year? How did he know that? I think they know where it's going to be every year or whatever. But also the fact that the pandemic happened the same year, it's wild stuff, man. That's like voodoo jazz. You know what I mean?
Voodoo Jazz.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy stuff.
He came from the future.
He must have. He must have, yo. And Akira is a great movie. The first time I watched it, I was high out of my mind. I was smoking weed for the first time as a teenager, and I was like, "This movie is the best movie." I was stoned watching that. I was like, "Wow, this movie's mind blowing." But now when I watch it, I'm like, "Yeah, this is still pretty crazy coincidental stuff going on here." And I think the
and as,
final
and as,
battle, well, not to cut you off, but I think the final battle of the movie takes place in the Olympic Stadium, if I'm not
does it?
mistaken. I haven't seen the movie in a couple years, but I think the movie the final battle in that movie takes place inside the Olympic Stadium. I think it happens. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. If any of you guys have seen the movie lately, I haven't seen that movie in a while. But I remember Tetsuo. I think the villain's called Tetsuo. He's sitting in a throne on top of the Olympic arena or whatever. So yeah, there's some wild voodoo jazz going on there. Definitely.
That reminds me of talking about IPs. In the next podcast, I'm gonna talk about some of the IPs that are being turned into movies and Netflix shows. So that let's stay tuned for that. But that's the wrap up for this podcast, news guys.
Oh, Akira. The vampire movie is called something else. Oh, I think there is a vampire movie called Akira too, right? No, it's something else. It's called. I know what vampire movie you're talking about. The live action one that's had all those wild stuff in it. But no, I'm talking about the anime. The anime that came from a manga. But yeah, that's the pod, man. It's a good episode. Good episode. Yeah. Oh yeah. I'm thinking about having a better late than never. Takzuki's in the building there.
Better late than never.
Yeah, man. So for all you guys watching, I think after this stream I'm gonna start movie night. I think I got the energy in me for another movie night. So I'm thinking about let me know in the chat, guys, what movie you want to watch. Sin, what are you doing after this stream? Going back to Pokemon Unite?
Yes, I'm going back to the gaming.
Yeah. But good stream. We talked about a lot of stuff. Piracy, Sin being a badass, yes. When are we D&Ding? Taco's in charge, man. He sets the rules for that. But yeah, man. Shout out to all the news. Podcast will be out tomorrow on Apple and Spotify and YouTube. And it's been a good one. It's been a good one, Sin.
Am I playing us out?
You are.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for coming by. Make sure you check us out on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, and Twitch, everywhere you can find us. I am Sinfanta. You can find me on twitch.tv/Sinfanta. And
I'm Gnarly Marv, the Brave Wolf, the boss of the Brave Arts. Find me on Twitch at twitch.tv/Bravery Arcade. I am number 4, I think, Lich King. But you know the saying.
All right, everybody. Mission
complete. Don't go nowhere. It's movie night. Coming right back.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
We await your return, brave hearts.